Hi, I'm Alan Ross, and I am the managing editor of APC Media. And this is a showcase. Our guests today are with Amorim. Amorim is a company that's very unique. When I first heard about them, I thought, now, why are we introducing ourselves to a cork company? However, there's so much more than cork. We're going to find out that today. My guests are two people that I think will represent the future of the cork industry. It's green because the product is green, but it's what it's being used for in the power industry that is most intriguing. So Marta Reinas, Marta the Queen, she has been with Amorim for a good while now. She's an engineer, so she's going to talk like an engineer. But tell us a little bit about what you do at Amorim, Marta.
Hello, I'm work at Amorim at the innovation department, and I provide all the technical support to our customers and even to our commercial team. Besides that, I'm also responsible to make all the adjustments to the formulations and also develop new products for this area.
I love the innovation, adjustments to the product. It's cork. How do you make adjustments to cork? We're going to talk about that. And then my other guest is Margarida Figueiredo. I got it. I got it, right? Margarida.
Yeah, you got it.
So Margarita, what do you do with Amarin? And we'll get more into the company in a minute.
Yes, of course. So I work with Marta at the Innovation and Product Management Department. I'm not a technical manager, I'm product manager, and I make the bridge between the technical management and the markets. So I'm responsible for the portfolio management of our industry sectors and basically making the bridge between the market needs and what it's possible to do in terms of cork and turns that into opportunities.
So you are customer facing, and Marta is customer facing, but she is cork facing. She's product facing innovation. But before we get on to some of the products that apply to our industry, the powers industry, talk a little bit about Amorim as a company. And let me ask you that, Margarita. Obviously, every company is going through great change right now for decarbonization, all of the things that we are now responsible for, because in the power industry, we have to make twice as much power and we have to reduce dependence upon oil and gas. That changes the nature of every company. Amorim is a cork company primarily, but you've gotten into other products that support that. But talk about the vision of the company. Where are you going as an organization?
Yes, so maybe I think we should start with the background of the origin of the company. Okay. So Amorim Core Composites, it's our company, belongs to the Amorim Group, Corticeira Amorim Group. It's a family-owned company, and our origin starts back in the 70s, with four generations, and we start with cork. Okay, mainly with cork stoppers. Then we start to evolve as a company. So we develop different areas. At this moment, we have around 5 business units, from raw materials to flooring to composites to insulation materials. That belongs to Corticeira Amorim. We have presence in 10 different sectors, 3 joint ventures, and we have a worldwide presence. When we talk about the vision of the group, so it's of the group and for specific for power industry, it's really important to understand that our essence, obviously, it's to add value to cork, but we play as a company a major important role in terms of innovation in developing new products. So
I love family-owned businesses that started in the 70s. Neither one of you were around in the 70s. I was. And by the way, I was around in the sweet 60s, which were quite strange. But anyway, that's good to hear. One of the things that you said that we're going to come back on, and I think, Marta, you're going to really talk a lot about this, is the idea of adding value to cork and innovation. So I really want to focus on that for a minute. When you hear that, when Margarita says adding value to cork, and you're the person that has to decide how to do that, talk to me a little bit about how do you add, for the power industry, how do you add value to cork?
Yes, in this case specifically, we are mixing cork with different typologies and specific rubbers in order to enlarge the value proposition of our materials. In this case, and mixing these two raw materials, we are able to have what we call the best of the two worlds, because with the introduction of rubber, we are able to have the compatibilities needed, for example, for the sealing area, mainly to insulate as in using gaskets for insulating the transformers, for example. And we also have vibration controls solutions to minimize the vibration of the transformer, and in this case, minimize the noise that they provide to the surroundings. The adding of cork allows us to have also other benefits that only rubber doesn't allow us. What we mean with that, with the introduction of cork, we are able to have a better compressibility inside of the material, meaning has less extrusion of the rubber. And we also have other arguments like the sustainability and green that you were talking about it.
Okay, I want to go back to something. When you said to the ceiling, when a transformer is built in this gigantic metal case, and the coils are placed in it, and then the coils are pressed, right? There's a heavily there's all kinds of insulation materials in there. Without insulation, the copper would begin to touch each other. We'd have a fault, and then before you know it, the transformer fails. So insulation is important. But when you said the seal, you know, the weakest link, I've done a lot of speeches about transformers. The weakest link in a transformer is the gasket material around the bushings and the material around the top. Why? Because that's where moisture and air can get into the transformer.
Yes.
So I want you to talk about that specific technology, you know, because I understand it, but speak to our audience about why the products that you make for sealing the transformer at the top are so important, and what's the difference? Because that's important to the transformer manufacturers.
Correct. Here, cork, speaking only with cork, cork has very, very good compressibility and recovery characteristics. And when we mix it with the rubbers, we doesn't lose this factor. We add this factor to our materials. So comparing to the traditional rubbers present in the market, our cork and rubber materials allow us to have better compressibility and recovering solutions or properties. And when we have this type of transformer, they are really, really big, and sometimes they have deformations caused by paintings, caused by some deformations from manufacturing it. And cork, when it compressed, it absorbs the movements of the rubber and it conforms to the flanges surface very, very good, minimizing the contact or improving the contact areas and minimizing the defects that we have.
So the imperfections, and I didn't know this, you actually taught me this, but because you use cork, when you have maybe a little imperfection in the metal, and we're using steel, right? So you're going to have little, in grain-oriented steel, you tend to have some of these on the top of the transformer. The cork actually acts like a sealant when you press that down, which is brilliant, because that then will keep the product from, go ahead, you were going to say something.
Yes, and it will conform and adjust it perfectly to all the imperfections that you will have, even if it is to prevent and use it with oils, or as you were saying, to prevent moisture, waters, or other substance to enter to the transformer.
So we're going to come back to the vibration and the noise in a minute, because that's a different application. But I'm going to go over to Margarida. Margarida, you are talking to customers, right? Customers are probably not used to hearing about a cork rubber combination, right? That's not a normal gasketing material. So how do you present to them? Because it's what I would call a value add feature. How do you present that to the people who specify transformers? Does your product happen at the specification level, or does it happen after the transformer manufacturer gets the spec and then is just buying the material? Where do you come in there to change the way people specify transformers?
First, in terms of sealing, we have a long track record, not from the power industry, but from the automotive industry. So we are since more than 50 years using sealing for automotive engines. So we have a huge knowledge and background in the sealing area. And also, for example, for gas applications. So what we have done, it was transferred part of that knowledge for sealing for the power equipments. You said it's correct. So we work with the majority and with the main OEMs of power industry, and we work with them to prescribe our materials together. So basically, we have the capability internally to make, for example, help them on technical draws, and we prove throughout the composition of our materials and our reverse engineer the performance of our materials in the equipments.
I think the fascinating, so I'm going to come back to you, Marta, because I know you can put rubber and you can put cork, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you say it's infused, it's a different technical process of how you create it. The idea that you show a rubber cork composition, explain that to me, because I don't understand how that happens.
Yes, so we in our factory we have different mixers that are able and specifically designed to mix different rubbers with cork and all the additives needed for the final product. And we mix with them, and after that we produce or blocks or cylinders that afterwards are splitted with the thickness that our customer needs.
So the way that after you create this, you've got flat panels. I imagine that's what you use for the top. You're going to have blocks. Go back to that one. You mentioned it about more of the blocks for number one, vibration, which we all want to control. But the other one is most transformers are built in a all transformers are built in a factory and they're moved. Do you know one of the worst things that you can do to a transformer is move it? And you have to have really good, not vibration analysis, but load protection, because that truck, that train, that ship is always moving. And that from the factory, it's perfect. When you get it out to the site, it's had all of that movement in there. So I know your product helps in that area, but explain how it helps with vibration. It does help with noise, but to me, the biggest thing that you do is you help create a stable product when it arrives. When you put your product in there, talk about it.
Yes, when we are talking about transportation of transformers, some of our customers have a solution that we provide together with them, with our material, where we cut like some donuts to be put on the pins to prevent any, in case of impact or something like that, to prevent the deformation of the transformer. We have this type of solutions. Other customers also work with some pads to decouple the metallic parts to prevent also again some damage during the transportation. We have also these solutions when we are talking from the movement from the factories to the place where the transformers are installed and being put it in work.
So the application for your products are flat that you can and different what am I talking about? You know, thickness. That's the perfect word, a great English word, thickness, different thicknesses, the blocks that can go about anywhere. But I have seen the different forms that you create. You can pretty much create anything, right? Out of the cork rubber combination.
Correct, because our materials are easy cutted with a traditional cut. They can be milled by CNC or even by a die cutted if the thickness is smaller. They can be also cutted by water jet if needed. So there is no problem, and the customer can cut it according to the drawings or the place that they want to put it with the traditional equipments present in this type of industries.
Do most people buy stock and then do the cutting some way, or do you now also sell pre-cut pre-ready to deliver parts? I mean,
we can work the two ways. Our main business is to supply the materials to our customers, and afterward they have this type of technology and customize according to the transformer place or even customer requests. And in some cases, we are also able to supply it directly to the customer if needed.
when it's cork, this is for both of you, when it's both cork and it's rubber, what do you call it? Crubber, or do you call it Rourke?
No, we call it cork and rubber.
Cork and rubber, okay. Well,
but
if
it's a nice idea, crubber. I like it.
capital C Crubber and register that trademark, okay? It is fascinating. The company as a whole, I'm going to go back to the company, the commitment of the company. Sustainability, that's one of the commitments of the company. And I love the fact that you're using cork. It's one of the most sustainable products that we can do. So this is for either of you. I didn't know this, but where do you get cork from?
We get cork from, the majority of cork, it's from Portugal, from the south of Portugal. And then we have some cork that we also get from all the Mediterranean area. So mainly Spain, Italy, Greece.
So you have European cork, but it comes from the cork tree? Or what? Is it true? It's a cork tree?
It's a cork tree, yes.
Okay. And you take the bark of the cork tree?
Yeah, basically we don't damage the tree. So we only take the outer back of the tree and we harvest it. So we harvest each 9 years. The cork tree can be harvested, and just we peel out the tree.
Okay, so sustainable, but now you're doing it every 9 years. The tree doesn't scream out in pain because the tree wants, it's like sheep. This is like sheep.
Yeah, it's like a sheep, yeah. And then the cork regrows again after 9 years, and then we can sheep it again.
I have a better name. It's called Corub, C-O-R-U-B, Corub, with a big register, that trademark. Okay, so innovation is tremendous. I want to talk a little bit about innovation as it goes forward. And maybe this is something that you're thinking about that you can't share, but what's next? If you can put cork with rubber and you can create this composite type material that does what it does, what do you think is next, either for that material application or innovation? What are you working on? So this is for you, Marta. What are you working on secretly when none of us know that you're working on it?
Yes, now we are working now in trying to develop new materials with different typology of materials in order to get to different applications or even markets that we are not present due to high demanded requirements. And we are also trying to see if we can enter in new solutions and also in new places and new type of transformers.
I love that.
At this moment, we are not present, but we want to be present.
Okay. And hopefully through doing this, that we're letting the world know that you want to be present. I love innovation. I love the fact that the company's made a commitment to sustainability and the very product is sustainable. In using the rubber products, so let me go to that a little bit. Do you make your own rubber products or are you purchasing from another supplier? You make them.
Yes, we supply the raw materials, meaning the rubber and other additives needed for the formulation, and we mix it internally in our factory. We have all the equipment needed to produce the materials from the mixing part to the vulcanization part, and afterwards split it to the thickness according to the customer needs, or even transform to a final piece, as we were talking before, to a final piece according to the customer drawings or needs.
Okay, excellent. So you're a total controlled source. Every 9 years, you get a new batch of rubber. I know it's not that way. I know you bring it in every year, but you know, the trees don't scream out in pain and you make your own rubber. It's wonderful. Anyway, anything else that you think that the customer ought to know? And I'm talking about the person saying, I want to use that product in my transformer. Anything else that you think they should know about the advantages of using core rubber?
Yes, we also have a different solution that is our vibration controls. where we provide, it can be different solutions, mostly 4 of them, that can be internal or external pads, material to be put inside of the tank wall on the tank wall, and also material to decouple metallic parts. All of these solutions have in common the minimization of the vibration of the equipment, and also here cork is a good vibration isolator. And besides that, or in addition to that, when we remove the vibration of the equipment, providing from the active part or even from other parts of the transformer, we are able to minimize or minimize or coming down the dB level of the transformer. And in this specific case, the cities are coming bigger and bigger and coming closer to the places where these transformers are, and we can provide a better insulation, nice insulation, and guarantee a better surrounding comfort, let's say like that.
Did you know the vibration of a transformer creates a hum, right? That's how we hear it. We hear the hum. Yes. Do you know why transformers hum?
It has to do with the active part and the connections between them.
Well, see, that's the scientific answer. The real answer is because they don't know the lyrics of the song. Anyway, that is a transformer joke that you are now allowed to use. Okay.
Okay.
Final question to you, Margarida. So this is a technology, and this is brilliant technology being applied to a very, very old problem. The problem is transformers have been around for a long, long time. They've been made the same way for a long, long time. They're beginning to evolve. So speak to me as a customer of why I ought to work with Amorim in the fact that I've been doing this way forever. And now we have a good technical from Marta, but just tell me why I ought to work with your company.
Well, you as a customer would want to work with Amorim first because Amorim it's the world cork leader. So if you want to use cork and rubber products for this application, you won't get any other player with the presence that we have in the market. The second thing is that our brand, our T&D brand, it's a brand that it's already consolidated in the market. Our mission, our vision for our brand, it's to be considered as a quality partner. So in terms of quality material, you won't find any other player in the market that can deliver the quality material that we have. And in terms of distribution channels, we are present all over the world, so we don't have any problems in reaching all over the corners of the globe. Additionally, we work for more than 20 years in this area with the majority of the biggest OEMs. So we have a lot of knowledge. Several engineering teams dedicated only for this sector that will help our customers to provide the best solution for the power industry.
Well said. You could be a saleswoman. Did you know that?
Anyway, I don't want to.
I know. And so I'm going to end with 3 things, and this is something I've learned from working with Marta before, and is this pedigree. You've been in the industry a long, long time. You've made a commitment to the industry. Pedigree matters. You've had a proven technology being used elsewhere. Innovation. Marta, you're just inspiring with the fact that cork and rubber and innovation works, and you are now dedicated to be a woman in power systems, okay? Women in Power Systems is a publication that we put out. So you are now one of the WPS women. But thank you for the innovation. And that's important because that's what's happening. The best companies evolve. They create products that matter. And thirdly, you have a global reach. You can reach any OEM anywhere. And for me, the fact that we need more transformers than we've ever needed. They're growing in demand. The old ones are failing at an increasing rate. So the better technologies are going to build better, longer lasting transformers. Transformers are great. They last a long time. The average power transformer in North America is 40 years old, the average. So think about that. There's a lot of old transformers that are beginning to fail, and there's a great need to double the amount of transformers over the next 13 years. So you're a part of that, and thank you for joining us. I have enjoyed this with you. You're wonderful. One of the things I love is we've got the engineer side on one side, and we got the product side on the other. But you know what? You came together beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ellen.
Thank you very much.
This has been an APC Media Showcase. Thank you for joining us.